Hi, welcome back to Adventures in Music with me, Jim, where we listen to, talk about, and do all sorts of things music-y. Exciting times ahead. In a couple of weeks' time, The Overview by Stephen Wilson is released officially. I've heard it. I heard it a long time ago uh, in a darkened room in North London with a handful of other people. One of the first people outside the inner circle of Stephen Wilson's team to have heard the album, and I was absolutely thrilled and delighted and very, very privileged to do so. Of course, I rushed home and made a video all about it, but it was too soon. Of course it was. And I've held it back. And now we're just a few days away, a couple of weeks away from the release. It's time that I can release that video again now. You can see it. And in the video, I talk about the bits of film that I saw that to accompany the music and the music itself. It's a very, very quick, immediate reaction to what I'd witnessed. So it's not very nuanced. It's not detailed in that I've had a chance to listen to it multiple times, like a lot of the critics are at the minute. So sit back, enjoy. This is my take of The Overview. Hope you enjoy it. Today's independent artist of the day is, well, it's me. It's Jim Newstead. In the background, you can hear my track Pale Blue Dot that I thought might be quite appropriate for this video. If you fancy it and like the sound of it, you can go to Bandcamp and download it. Or not. I don't mind. Anyway, you're here for Stephen Wilson, so let's carry on. Hello, hi, welcome to Adventures in Music with me, Jim, where we listen to, talk about, and do all sorts of things music-y. I'm back in Monologue Corner, which means I've got something to say, I've got something to talk about. I want to talk about Stephen Wilson and his new album. Yesterday, I was invited to Highgate in London to the showroom of L-Acoustics to have a listening, or a first listening experience of the new album. If you remember last year, I was privileged to be invited to go and listen to the Harmony Codex in the same environment. And of course, I was contacted by Rob Scarron again, who is Stephen's digital content online manager, I think. I think that's his title. It's something like that, but it looks after the social media and the web presence, all that stuff, to come and listen to the album. And of course, I'm absolutely thrilled to do so. I wasn't really sure what to expect, other than I know it's called The Overview, and there is a film to accompany it. I bought tickets a few months ago for the upcoming Stephen Wilson tour, which will be coming in early summer next year. And I hadn't really sort of clicked when I was sort of buying the tickets that it's called the Overview Tour. I was thinking it was like touring for the Harmony Codex. And it wasn't until I was at the point of looking for tickets that I suddenly realised, oh, this is a new album. What's this? And it's sort of kind of been slid in under the radar, which is kind of, they have to, but it's not because they don't want to promote it. It's just impossible to promote in traditional ways. There is no single, there can't be, because get this, it's an album of 42 minutes, but it's made from 2 songs or 2 tracks, one 18 minutes and I guess one for 24 minutes. It's a prog rock monster. It genuinely is. Oh man, it was. I was really quite emotional listening to it. I caught myself grinning and smiling and absolutely so excited about what I was listening to. The process was pretty much the same as last time. The room layout was slightly different in that there was a screen at one end, but along the edges of the walls there were further vertical screens like portraits, and the film that was projected, I don't think it was projected, I think it was on very, very high def TV type screen, but the film that was presented there was actually, the film was in surround as well, so not just the sound but the picture. So coming back along the room on these vertical pieces were
extensions of what you were looking at on the main screen. The film itself is a work in progress. I think we saw maybe 12 minutes, 14 minutes perhaps of footage. And it's going to go hand in hand with the album when it's released. So that's, I guess, why at the minute there is no firm release date for the album, because it has to go hand in hand with the film, and the film needs to be finished before it can be released. The film itself is being created by Miles Scarrin, who's a digital artist and has worked with Stephen Wilson and Porcupine Tree quite a lot over the last few years. So if you think about some of the computer-generated videos that have been in there, they've come from Miles Scarrin. So it's him who's creating this video, and oh man, it's a feast for the eyes. The sound that we get with this record is just, it is prog rock goodness. I can't begin to tell you how good it is. And I know I tried to do this last year when I was talking about the Harmony Codex, but I have to say this is on some new level. It totally is. The concept of the album itself, the overview, is a term which has been used to describe the feeling and the emotional impact and the realization of perspective of your place in the universe when you're taken outside the orbit, or outside the atmosphere of Earth, sorry, and you turn around and you look back at the planet that we come from and see it against the vastness of everything and the insignificance of yourself within the grand scheme of things. That's the term, the overview. Stephen's been working with this organisation called Space Rock, which is a project put together by the European Space Agency, ESA. And it's a project that aims to connect science, astronomy, and the arts, so music and film, to try and help describe this philosophical understanding of who we are and where we are, of self within the infinite bounds of space. And if that doesn't sort of sound like the sort of the proggiest idea ever, I don't know what does. But it gets better. So as the record unfolds, you start to become involved in this totally immersive experience. Rich orchestration and multi-layered rhythms and sounds just wrap around yourself. And of course, this is I'm very, very aware that I'm sitting and listening to this on the optimum sound system probably anywhere in the world. It's incredible. But I think that when we get this as a consumer product in a few months' time, it's still going to sound amazing. It really is. The scope, scale and size of the pieces of music is beyond anything I think that Stephen's done before. And it's, without trying to exaggerate, I'm still trying to sort of articulate and sort of get my head around what it is that I've been listening to and experienced. He's done something with the music, and that Miles has done with the film, to try and picture ourselves. So you put yourself in the place of a single figure within the film, and you are taken outside of Earth and able to see it against this enormity of everything. And you can look down and see the evolution of the planet from when life started through to the wanton destruction that mankind is now wreaking across the planet with the environmental damage that's being done. Your gaze is taken into space and you realise it means nothing because of the size and the scale and the impossibly big numbers involved in space. Literally, it's meaningless because we are less than a blink of the eye in the passage of time. In the time that the planet Earth has been here, I think man has been around for less than 1,000th of 1% of that time. I think that's right. It's a crazy number like that. It's absolutely teeny tiny. Earth is one planet. We know that. Around our sun. Our sun is a star. Our star is one of many stars that we know of in our galaxy, the Milky Way. Perhaps between 100 and 400 billion stars just in our galaxy. And there are estimated some 2 trillion galaxies in the universe, meaning that there is 200 billion trillion stars in the universe. You know, you cannot fathom this stuff. But the music is trying to make sense of this. And you can't do that with short little pieces of music. The scale of the music is just astonishing. There are moments in here where you feel like we're grappling with the human condition as well as the vastness of space. So Wilson is looking at inner space and outer space sort of together. And you have the feeling, certainly as one bit of the film where the camera position, it's not a camera, but it zooms out from where we are through the solar system, out through the galaxy, out through the rest of the galaxies to the edge of the universe, that what you're looking at could be a visual representation of sort of subatomic particles. So you have this, are we looking at inner space, outer space? Where's it all fit together? And where do we fit within this? I mean, it is so proggy, it's untrue. And then it zooms back in again and you're back to where we started. And that's just part one. Part two has changed the pace or changed the style initially. There was no film with part two. There will be, but there was not yesterday. So we were listening in darkness to this bit. It started off very much like a polite sounding Aphex Twin or Future Sound of London, but very swiftly morphed into something bigger and something much more live. And then there was a moment where I felt that there was a nod to David Bowie's Space Oddity, and it felt very much like Major Tom looking back on Earth. And I don't know if that was deliberate, but I'm sure with Stephen Wilson's knowledge and background and love of Bowie and of music throughout the 20th century, that was absolutely deliberate and wasn't a mistake or wasn't a coincidence. I mean, it was wonderful hearing that. But the music itself, it was taking influence and inspiration and melding of sounds from so much. There's a lot of Vangelis type stuff going on in here. And huge, very big guitar and keyboard parts and drum parts. I mean, the bass, there's a lot of bass on here, wire work going on, and there's a lot of spoken word as well. So a disembodied voice, female voice, describing the size of the universe, describing the numbers involved with these different galaxies as the music washes over us. It's just staggering, absolutely staggering. And I think it without exaggeration, I think it's a masterpiece. It is a progressive rock masterpiece, and I'm so excited to hear this again in a few months' time when it comes out. I really think you're going to enjoy it, and I hope that I'm not sort of building up false hope for you, because I wouldn't really want to do that. it is genuinely some mind-blowing music and mind-blowing concepts that are being dealt with. They're huge, they're philosophical, they are theological, they are physical, they are astronomical, the cosmos. It's philosophical. It's just huge. It is absolutely massive, and I think it's probably one of the biggest subjects, if not the biggest subject, that Stephen Wilson has grappled with in his music over the years. And I think you're going to enjoy it. I hope you do. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. Until then, this is Jim. Over and out.